All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I think it's time to start and celebrate. Hello. Welcome to the stream. I'm not Professor, but you can call me Nap. And welcome on in. Hope everybody's having a great day, having a good week so far. And it feels crazy to be here. It feels crazy to think that, like, this is our last stream of researching this photograph, a project that's been going on for God, like 3 months, almost three, or yeah, 3 months and 5 days roughly, because February 1st was the first one. And now we're here. God, and again, this took way longer than I thought it would. We're 27, because I think, yeah, hold on, according to my title, stream title, yeah, yeah, 27 days. So 27 streams. It's taken 27 streams to get to this point. Uh, which is it's crazy that it took them. And I did some math. So on average, our streams for this project were roughly averaged about like 3.5 hours. That's like the average. Um, some would be about three, some would be close, some would be over four in a few cases. So, but I would say like the average was around like 3.5 hours. And it was that means that for this project, and what I did was I times 3.5 by 27 because we've done 27 streams of this project, and we are we have done about almost 95 hours worth of research on stream. Hello, Tea Time Cat. Welcome on in. Good to see you. And hello, Toki. Sorry, I forgot to say that earlier. Hello, you guys. Welcome on in. But yes, it is a celebration day today because this is the end. This is the finale of this project. It's had its crazy highs and crazy lows. It's just been all over the place. Hey, Pirate, good to see you. Welcome on in. And Binka, hello. How are you guys all doing? Hope you guys are all having a great day. Yes, the finale of the Victorian child jump scare. Yes. Um, and don't worry, we will have another one for old time's sake. Hold on 1 second. Let me shrink myself down here. Okay. Here we go. And three, two, one, and boom. uh, one, one final Victorian child jump scare. It is crazy that we're here. 24, 24 people, 24 kids that we have found. And well, okay, we've technically found 20, 23, because one of them I wasn't 100% sure if we found them or not, but still, that's still really impressive. That's still like an A. So, so I'll take it. So we'll start today by talking a little bit about, what the goal of today's stream is. And then once we kind of figure that out, I kind of want to end tonight by going over um all the people that we found, one last, kind of like run through of everything, the highlights, um before we put this project to rest. Well, okay, well technically the project isn't being put to rest. I'm still going to be working on this behind the scenes because I'm going to be making more YouTube shorts with based on this stuff. So there will still be more. I still have to do more work with this. You guys just aren't going to see many of it anymore. Um Also, while everybody's here and we're starting, or before we start, I do also want to say, um that this is going to be the last stream for the next roughly week, almost week and a half actually, just so you guys know. I've decided that, after working on this project for so long, I need a little bit of a break. Um because it's been a lot of, as much as I love it, it's been a lot of work, and I don't want to burn myself out. So next week there will be no streams. Um as of right now, the next stream is going to be on the 17th. So the 7th so the next stream will be Sunday, May 17th. Um and then when we come back on May 17th, we're not going to be doing genealogy research for a little bit. Like I said again, I don't want to burn myself out on this as much as I do love. Um, but I do have other fun things planned. We'll be research list. No, you can. Hey, actually, you know what? If you want to see some cool like research and cool topics being talked about, check out Binka. I really am looking forward to your Isn't it tomorrow? Your 90s talk. Your 90s talk on like 90s history and stuff, because I'm really looking forward to that, because that's the first decade where I actually kind of know some of the stuff. Because I will say that like while I was technically alive for the 90s, but I wasn't conscious, I'll just say. Most of all of my memories are basically from 2000 onward. So, but yeah. But when I do come back on May 17th, we will be doing like about like maybe a month or so of fun stuff. I do have some fun things planned. I want to do another one of our Zillow streams that we did a little bit. Um, we're gonna do a Zillow stream where we're gonna look up historic houses on Zillow and see what fun stuff we find. I want to do a. I also have to pay off my sub goals from our affiliate stream. So one of the days I will be playing a horror game. I will be playing a horror game, so look forward to that when we get back. And I'll be doing our museum tier list stream where I'll be ranking a bunch of museums that I've been to and where I think they fall on a tier list. And then uh also I'm gonna be playing a few other games. Like I want to play the game The Root Trees Are Dead, which is actually a genealogy video game, like puzzle game. So I'm very excited to try that out. And then on s- let's see. When was what was the other thing? Oh, I'm gonna do I think I'm gonna do a hand cam Lego stream, which will be fun. I've never tried one of those before. Wait, hold on. Okay. Hopefully tomorrow. I'm doing research right now, but recovering from a cold and just waiting to see how my voice is. Oh man, I hope you feel better, Binka. Yeah, I did see you did have to cancel stream the other day because of that. So I hope you feel better. And it's okay. I was also barely sentient until the late 90s. Yeah. um, you were saying you'll be doing fun things, so genealogy isn't fun. No, I'm not saying genealogy isn't fun. I'm just saying that we're gonna do other fun things, different fun things. They're still fun, but they're just different things. Historical Lego, all you made of money? No, because the thing that I bought is actually not Lego. It is brick building. It's a thing I bought at a gift shop. That is not official Lego, but it is a cool thing and it is museum related, so it fits with the theme of the channel. um so yeah, that and a bunch of other things I do have planned as well. So look forward to those. And let's see. Hey, Flora, good to see you. How are you doing? Hope you're having a great evening. So the other thing too is that after we spend like a few weeks doing non-genealogy stuff, um, it was gonna be, it's gonna be, sorry, hold on. I lost my train of thought for a second. Right, okay. So we will, when we do our like kind of extra fun things, for like a few weeks, I actually do have an idea for what our next research project is going to be, what our next genealogy project is. I'm not going to say anything yet because, who knows how things are going to turn out, but I already have a general idea of what we might be doing. Who knows if it will go as well as this one did, but we'll see. Uh, God reminds me of the Mormon Lego that I saw a while ago. The company is called Brigham Young. God, wow. Oh, that's a great pun. I love that. All right, so now that we've talked about what we're going to be doing in the future after this stream, so again, reminder, um, I am going to be taking about a week and a half off from streaming. Next stream after this one will be Sunday, May 17th. And we'll be doing a bunch of variety stuff. I'm going to become basically a variety streamer for like the next few weeks after that. Um, and yeah, but let's talk about what we're going to be doing today for the grand finale. Um, so we have, as I mentioned earlier, we have researched everybody in the photo. We have researched all 24 of these people, which is, again, incredible. Really incredible. But today, we're not going to be focusing on any of them. Instead, we're going to be focusing on something that's on the back here. And it's that name right there. That today we are going to be researching Henry Dunn, who was the owner of this photo. And in fact, I do have a picture of Henry Dunn uh, right here. The boy in this photo right here, that is a young Henry Dunn. We already know a little bit about him. We know that he is the son of Eleanor Metcalf. Eleanor Metcalf being the girl whose birthday party is being celebrated in this photo. So this photo was likely Eleanor's photo, and then she passed it on to her son, Henry. Now, like I said, we already know a little bit about Henry, but we're going to try and learn more about him today, doing our normal genealogy research. But the main goal of all of this is we are going to see if we can figure out how this photograph, which was obviously from Taconic, Pennsylvania, ended up in an antique store in California. That's the goal of this stream, to try and figure out if there's any type of like genealogical or chronological record that can be found that helps kind of map this thing out. Basically, we're going to be doing what we call in the history and museum world provenance research. Provenance is basically the history of ownership of an object or a piece of art. Basically, like track like the history of that object and how it moved to various locations, owned by different people, owned by different institutions, stuff like that. It's something in the museum field that's starting to become way more common, and done way more, especially as uh, repatriation and like returning looted material starts to become more common, especially now with the internet. It's way easier for people to find and discover things. um we're going to be doing a little bit of that today. I've actually have done provenance research before. I actually took a class in grad school on it, and it was probably my favorite class I took in grad school. um Yeah, so I'm really excited about this. I would love, like, if I wasn't doing my museum job right now, I would love to be like a full-time like provenance research, because basically you're doing kind of what I do. It's like genealogy research, trying to find out where where a piece of art or something like that, or a historical artifact came from. But um uh the The only problem, though, is that to really be considered a professional in that, you have to know a second language, preferably either French or German, because that's where a lot of the art market was back in like, the 1800s. Yes, a bunch of art museums are getting better about their provenance research and repatriation. Yes, it's becoming way more common, which is great. Like there's only a handful of museums that um uh it's one of those things that, yes, and there are a few museums do now have full-time provenance researchers. Like I think the Smithsonian has one um for one of their art museums. I think for the Asian Art Museum. for the Smithsonian. They have a full-time, like, provenance, researcher. I think the Met has one too. They're starting to become more common in, like, auction houses and stuff like that. Um, so, yeah, so it's thankfully, it is becoming more common. Um, Historical repatriation, the British Museum shutters. Oh, yeah. But hey, it's not just I will say, Floyd, it's not just the British Museum. British Museum, I think, is just the most famous example of it, and also, I think, compared to every other museum I've seen, they're the most resistant to it compared to almost, like, most museums. Second language is an actual requirement. I don't know if it's requirement might be a bit too strong of a word, but it's definitely, like, because you need to be able to read you need to be able to read, like, auction house books from, like, the 1800s and from, like, art auctions back in the day, and most art auctions back then, a lot of the art market was in France and Germany. So that's kind of why it's very, very helpful to at least have, like, a be able to read, um, yeah, have, like, a reading level understanding of a language. Yeah, I would say, yeah, it's definitely the most notorious example of it. Um, but hopefully we won't have to discover anything about that, like, related to this photo. Hopefully this photo was not stolen and ended up in a in an antique store that I bought it in. Hopefully it was, you know, legally purchased by the antique store. I don't wanna own any stolen goods. I would prefer not to. But, yeah, and, but hey, even if it was, my plan is to maybe see if I can find people who might know who are in this photo. I feel like you need a pretty high level to understand handwriting specifically. I imagine it involves a lot of guessing, and you can't do that without knowing the language. Well, yes, that is very true, especially because in these old books, it's gonna be old style handwriting. It's gonna be cursive. It might be like an older you know, it's French, but it's French from, like, 300 years ago, or German, but it's from, like, 250 years ago. Those, they can look very different. So combined with, like, possibly old style of language, combined with old style of writing, like handwriting, yes, it can be very difficult if you don't have a good understanding of the language. Um, yeah. So, but like I said, hopefully we won't have to worry about any of that today because I doubt this photo ended up in France or Germany at some point. If it did, that would be crazy. I'm pretty sure this thing just stayed in America for the 140 years it's been around, roughly. 138. It's been around. Wow, this photo. I didn't think about that. This photo is 138 years old. Yeah, this photograph is 138 years old. Wow, that just hit me. I just kept repeating the year 1888, but, like, when you really think about it, it's like, yeah, that was wow. This is an old photograph. Watch it go through Japan. That would be crazy. I don't know, maybe if Henry Dunn, maybe if he served in, like, a war or something like that, and he traveled with it for some reason. I don't know why he would travel with this photo. A photo of, like, a young photo of his mother and all of her mom's friends, some of which he probably has no idea who they are. But yeah, all right. So I think with that though, let's get uh let's get into it, shall we? And begin let's begin our research. All right. Actually, you know what? Before we start, I think we should ask our uh our friend here a little question. Lewis, how do you think today's research finale is gonna go?
Stonks.
All right, apparently it's gonna be profitable. Let's go. Let's keep going. We are gonna get stonks at the end of by the end of this. Let's go. All right. So yeah. So today we are gonna be researching Henry M. Dunn. I don't remember exactly what year he was born. I think he was born in, like, the early 1900s. like between 1900 and 1910, I think. But I guess we'll see. All right, so should be pretty easy to find him. Henry Dunn, Wyoming County, Pennsylvania. And we know who his parents are. You know, his father is, hold on, what was his name? Father's name was Henry no, sorry. Mother's name, Thomas Dunn. So, Thomas Dunn, and mother's name was Eleanor. All right, and let's search. Hopefully he should come up. Right, and there, boom, there he is. Eleanor Metcalf Dunn. Okay, we got a few things here. We're going to start with this, which is his birth certificate, which I think is a great place to start. This is one of the few people where, like, we actually have a birth certificate because everybody else is old enough that, like, we don't really have those. So, yeah, so here he is, born in Taconic, Henry Metcalf Dunn. So that's what the M stands for. The M stands for is Metcalf, his mother's maiden name. Yeah, father's name Thomas Merton Dunn. Mother is Eleanor Metcalf. Both born in Taconic. He was 25. She was 24. Uh, uh, oh, deputy professor? Is that what that says? I know he was a teacher. I'm pretty sure. But either way, all right. So we have that. Let's see, what other records do we have here? So, okay, so it looks like we have records. Okay, and we got draft card. I don't think he served though. He was too young, or he was too old by the time World War. He was too young for World War One and too old for World War Two to be drafted. But let's start with looking at his census records. Some of these census records though we've already seen when we researched Eleanor. Okay. Um yeah, okay, that is yes, this is them on Harrison Street. Oh, that's right, proto notary, that's what he was. Okay, so yeah, so he's in this, he's 3 years old, and yeah, his sister Elizabeth, who's also in the photograph next to him, next to Eleanor. And yeah, that's his only sibling, I believe. He was the older of the two. So then let's go 1920. He should be a teenager at this point. And I think is his father's okay, that's right. So he never his father passed away when before he was a teenager. Because I'm trying to remember when Thomas died. Yeah, and this is when we discovered that Eleanor then took over his business, which again is awesome for this time period. All right, and then check out the 1930 census. Here we go. So 1930 census, he's probably living on his own now. Could be married, but he could still be at home. Okay, no, he is still at home, and he's working as okay, he's an insurance agent. Okay, he's an insurance agent. I wonder. Okay, I wonder if it's interesting that he didn't go into, like, his mother's business or anything. I guess he didn't wanna work in coal. I mean, I don't blame him. I wouldn't wanna work in coal. That honestly sounds miserable. And then here, okay, here we go. So by 1940, he is married. He's 33 years old. Yeah, to a woman named Eleanor. Huh. He married somebody with the same name as his mother. Huh. I'm not gonna read too much into that and move on. Um, and then they had a daughter named Sarah, 6 years old. Uh, they're still in yeah, okay, so they are living in Tacanic. What does that say? Partner general insure. Okay, so he's still working in insurance. Okay, insurance firm. Partner insurance firm, general insurance. Okay, he's still working in insurance. So I guess that was his career job, was working in insurance. Um, let's see. Yeah, I don't know, Tea Time Cat. Who knows? I mean, it's an interesting decision. Okay, and then we have 1950 census. So in 1950, he's 43. Okay, so it looks like he only had one daughter. Okay, so that narrows down who could have owned this photo then. If he only had one daughter, she's the only one who could have potentially gotten this photo. So that, and her name is okay, her name is actually Sally, according to this. Sally E. Uh yeah, insurance salesman, general insurance. Okay, so he's an insurance salesman basically. So it's very likely that we'll need to look at what happened to Sally. Let's see, Sally's 16 in 1950. So she was born in 1934. She could have been alive until very recently. I think the biggest thing that we can find that will give us the most information is if we find an obituary for Henry Dunn, because most obituaries, when they list, like, living like descendant, like kids or wife or whatever like that, they will say a lot of times where they are living at the time. So the big thing is that if Sally ends up living in California, then I think that kind of solves our mystery. Okay. So that's the end of the census records. Uh A lot of newspapers. We have a lot of newspapers here, but let's look at this draft card. It's probably not going to tell us too much because, was never, he wouldn't have been drafted because he was too old. Yeah, he's living in Tacanic. It looks like he lived in Tacanic almost his whole life. West Harrison Street, Tacanic, Wyoming, Pennsylvania, employer self. So it was his own insurance firm. It's his own insurance firm that he's running and working for. Hmm. And then hold on, wait. Can we get a description on the back here? Okay. 5'7", 160 pounds. Oh, 5'7". He was kind of short for let's see, blue eyes, black hair, ruddy complexion. Okay. Let's see. Oh wait, I meant to look at this. Um, okay, before we look at the grave record here, which we do have, uh, this is interesting. This is specifically a thing that says California birth, marriage, and death records. Who is this for? Wait, what? Marriage date 1930, Los Angeles, What? Uh, hold on. Did he live in California for a little bit? Hold on, where's Eleanor? Okay, yeah, Ryan Bold. Eleanor. Henry M. Dunn. 1930. Hold on. 1930. Did he get married in. Wait, hold on. Where is she from? She's from Pennsylvania. They got married in California? Because, yeah, that timing is right. Okay, August 2nd, 1930. And the census record from 1930, when he's still living at home, is from April 3rd. Yeah, April 3rd. Okay, so this is when he would still be. Okay, interesting. Hey, Onion, welcome on in. Hope you're having a great evening. All right, what is your question? Yes, questions are always welcome here. Okay. Weird thoughts on the platonic realm of forms? If I knew what that was, I would maybe have an opinion. I'm going to be honest with you, I have no idea what that is. Okay, so he did get married in California. But I think we're gonna have to see what happened to his daughter. Yeah, sorry, Onion. I wish I could be of more help. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it was born January 18th, 1907, died April 1974. Um, let's see. Hey, Paperclip, good to see you. Welcome on in. Okay, and then we see right here his only daughter, his only kid, Sally, she passed away in 2015. So depending on where she passed away, that could, give us, the information that we need. What are you going to do after you finish this research? So, for all the people who joined recently, I'll just repeat it just really quickly, and I'll say it again at the end of stream too. I am going to be taking a little bit of a break. Um, I'm going to be taking this next week off when it comes to streaming. My next stream after this won't be until February, or sorry, not February. Jesus, February is when we started this. My sense of time is all screwed up. Sunday, May 17th. So mark your calendars. Monday or Sunday, May 17th will be my stream back. And then when I do get back, we are going to be doing a lot of a couple like maybe roughly like a few weeks of just like miscellaneous like variety fun stuff. I have a couple ideas of things we're going to do. Um and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. Um but yeah. Okay. So we did find his grave. We do know his daughter did pass away in 2015. But let's look at this obituary real quick. The short one. Henry M. Dunn Tacanic dies. Henry M. Dunn, 67, of uh, Tioga Terrace, maybe? Tacanic, died Monday in Tyler Memorial Hospital, Tacanic. He was born January 18th, 1907, at Tacanic. He was engaged in the insurance business, first with the firm of DeWitt and Dunn. That's a great name. DeWitt and Dunn is a great, great name for a business. And later with Dunn and Welch. Not as good, not as fun sounding. He was a member of the Tacanic Presbyterian Church. Mr. Dunn was a 1923 graduate of Tacanic High School and attended Blair Academy and Lafayette College. Surviving are his widow, the former Eleanor Reinbold, daughter, Miss Sally Cornell Tacanic, three grandchildren, sister, Mrs. Dixon Herman Harrisburg. Funeral will be Thursday at 1 from the Sheldon Funeral Home, 73 West Tioga Street, Tacanic, with Reverend John McVeigh, pastor of the Tacanic Presbyterian Church, officiating. Burial in Sunnyside Cemetery. Okay, so this is interesting. What this reveals is that at least by the time when Henry passed away, his daughter Sally was still living in Tacanic. She was still in Tacanic. Huh. So that makes me think that she does have 3 kids. So maybe it might be one of her 3 kids that ends up in California? Maybe? Because if she did, okay, actually, let's just look at her grave real quick. No, wow, okay, she passed away in Titanic as well. Okay. So she never moved to California. Okay, hold on. Sally Dunn Cornell, 80 of Tacanic, died Friday, March 6th, 2015, at Tyler Memorial Hospital in Tacanic. She was born on March 31st, 1934, daughter of the late Henry M. and Eleanor Reinbold Dunn. She was survived by her son and daughters, two cousins, and her two close caregivers. Note: survivors' names omitted for privacy per find a grave rules. Okay, that's what I was thinking about. Um, because it is so recent that some things like that aren't going to be in databases for privacy reasons, and I personally wouldn't want to show that anyway because I don't want to dox somebody, on stream or something like that. So I think what I might do real quick, I'm gonna see if I can find because this was in 2015. I'm gonna see if I can find. I'm not gonna show it on stream again because of privacy reasons. But I'm just gonna real quick in a different window see if I can find her obituary. Okay, here we go. Um, okay, I did basically find this exact article with the names, but unfortunately, it does not say where they are. It doesn't say where they are from. Oh, wait. Okay, this is interesting. So it lists her kids, but it doesn't say where any of them live. She had one son, two daughters, and then it does say her two cousins. Now, in this case, her two cousins are uh hold on, wait, I have it here. Right here. Okay, so in this photo, this is the photo that we're using right now. Like I said, she is the daughter of Henry, the boy in this photo. But her two cousins are um the kids of the girl in this photo, Elizabeth. Now we know one of the kids um in this or one of her cousins, we actually already know um because she still lives in Pennsylvania and is still involved with the Metcalf Mansion that I've talked about before. She's the reason why we have this photo. This is her photo that was given to her by her mother. What I also discovered with this obituary that I'm looking at right now, that again I'm not going to show on stream because of for like I said privacy reasons. It does list that she has a sister, and that sister, at least in 2015, lived in California. So it might be possible. It might be possible that this photo wasn't given to one of Henry's kids. It was given to one of his nieces, to specifically a niece that was living in California. Because I feel like maybe her kids, all of Sarah's kids or Sally's kids, if they lived somewhere else, it would have said in this obituary because it doesn't say where they live. It says where her cousins live. Hold on. Let me look up that. Uh, what's this one? Okay, no, that's not her. Sorry that this is kind of a little boring for you guys. Um, uh, 'cause you can't see any of this right now. Uh, is this? So I can't find anything on that cousin that lives in California. So maybe that cousin is still alive. But as of right now, that's the only California connection I'm seeing. Huh. Okay. Yeah, because Sally's kids easily can still be alive. But I don't think we're not going to have any obituary records for, or not census records for them because um they would have been born um they would have been born past 1950, and 1950 is the latest census records we have. Hey, Aeon, yes, this is the final stretch. This is the finale of researching everybody in this photo. We're trying to figure out right now how this photograph from Pennsylvania ended up in California. And I might have found a way that it could have ended up there, but it's a little hard to say. And I can't reveal a lot of the stuff because it would be doxing people. um, hold on, let's look at this real quick and just make sure I didn't miss anything. Census records, draft cards. Yeah, this is all same stuff. Hold on. I'm gonna check something else in a window real quick. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Uh. Oh my. Oh wow. Okay. Sorry, I'm discovering a rabbit hole that I can't show. And I need to stop because otherwise I'm gonna be revealing too much. This isn't the same. Okay. Um Sorry. I was basically what I was looking at was if because Sarah, we have Sarah right here, or Sally. Looks like she went by her birth name was Sally or Sarah, but she went by Sally. Her information is here. Um But most of it, and when I opened the link in the new window, most of the information in terms of like who her kids are and stuff like that, that's all listed as private. Because again, I'm assuming that they are still alive. Um, but as of right now, it seems that the main theory that I have is that this photo was not given. Oops, sorry for the jump scare there. This photo was not given to one of Henry Dunn's kids. It might have instead been given to his niece for whatever reason. Because we do know the only California connection we have right now is that his niece did live in California or is living in California. Who knows? Um, and honestly, it would make sense then that this photograph would end up in an antique store because if that niece, if they had kids and they grew up in California, they probably have no connection to like any of this. They would know that, Henry is their grandfather, maybe, but they might not even know who Eleanor is. Like because they're going to have no connection. Everybody else so far that we've researched has stayed in Tacanic. They have stayed in Tacanic, Pennsylvania. They've lived there pretty much their whole lives. So they would be more connected to like, the history, both the family history and the local history. So they'd be more inclined to keep something like this. But when they got so separated, they they would likely come across this photo, be like, I don't know what this is, and then get rid of it. I don't know. Maybe they tried to get rid of it at an estate sale or something like that, and somehow that ended up at this antique store. What's crazy too is that I remember exactly which antique store I bought this from. It makes me wonder if there were more photos of the Metcalfs of the Duns in that pile. I just didn't recognize them or see them because I didn't know there were more, of that name in there and everything. Because I'm assuming like they probably bought more than like if they bought photos to sell at an antique store, they probably bought more than one. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and it's kind of sad. It is kind of sad, yeah. I mean, to lose that connection and everything especially when there are living descendants. Like I said, one of Eleanor's granddaughters is still alive and probably has no idea that this photo exists. There are 24 other like descendants of several other people in this photograph that probably have no idea that this photo exists, you know? And there are, almost half the people in this photo for a variety of reasons have no living descendants. So this might be some of the only photos of them in existence. It's another reason why I think this type of research, is so important. Got to keep these memories alive somehow. Okay. So we might have figured that out. We might have figured out the mystery of how exactly this photo ended up in California. Maybe. Unfortunately, I think it's going to require research of like um it's going to require more research like off stream because again, I'm going to have to research like living people and I don't want to do that on stream. I don't want to, you know, dox anybody. Have you reached out to the Metcalf Museum yet about not yet? No, that's actually what I'm going to do this week that I'm off. That is one of the things I'm going to do. I am going to contact because I wanted to wait until I research everybody So that way, if I had any questions about anything, I knew, I knew what I could ask them, you know? Uh, so that's why I waited. So that is the goal. One of the things I'm going to do. I want them to want this. No, I think they will. I think they will. They have been at least maybe not the Metcalf family, but at least the people who own the Metcalf house would be interested in it. My other thing that I'm thinking about too, because as much as I do think, yes, it is obviously the Metcalf's family photo, because it has so many other people from this community in this photo, I would be very happy if it ended up at a like the local county museum. Because there is a county museum in Tacanic, the Wyoming County Historical Society. I'd be happy with either one. I personally, I would like. I'm going to leave it up to them what they want to do because it's technically their descendant. It's their photo. They make the call. Personally, I would like to donate it to the historical society, but I'm a museum guy. That's what I do. But it's not up to me. It's really up to them. Wow. All right. So I think now let's go ahead and let's see what we can find in terms of newspapers about Henry. All right. So let's go to newspapers here. So Henry Dunn, he was born 1907. So we'll start with 1907 to 1920, and we'll stick to Wyoming County. Whoa, really? Only one thing from 1912. Harry Metcalf, wife, and grandson, so this is him with his grandparents, have returned from a recent visit with their daughter, Mrs. Walter Tewksbury, in Philadelphia. Okay, that's Marion. That's Eleanor's sister, Mrs. Walter Tewksbury. Okay. What if we get rid of the Wyoming County, or is there going to be like a million? Yep, there's going to be a million. uh, okay, let's try Luzerne County, maybe. London. Wait, why am I getting stuff from London? Hold on, I'm just curious. The banquet of the new Lord Mayor of London, Sir William Henry Dunn. That's why. That's why we're getting stuff from London. It just so happens to be that his name is part of another name of a famous person in London, the mayor of London. Uh, oh wait, hold on. We need to sort it by oldest. Let's see. I don't see this. None of this is our Henry Dunn because this is saying of a different town. That's not Tacanic. And in 1910, he'd be 3 years old. So okay, so that means I think there is another Henry Dunn living in the area, which is not good. Uh, what we might have to do is make it specifically. Oh, let's go back to Wyoming County. Let's change it to 1921 to 1930. Okay, here we go. We got more. Okay, so it starts in 1924. He would have been hold on, wait, what year was he born? 1907? 1924, he would have been 17. He would have been 17, roughly. Okay. And for this, he's he's in school right now. He's at Blair Academy. He's at Blair Academy going to school. And that's what it looks like these are. These are about him being in school, home on vacation. Uh I think these are all mostly him like being back from school and everything. Oh wait, hold on. This is a list of people. What is this a list for? Oh, okay. Among those who went to the Altoona or who went to Altoona to witness the automobile races last uh Saturday were Harry Rose, Joseph and Cecil Ball, Henry Dunn, Mrs. Fred J. Billings, Mrs. Frank Dunn, Parker Malone, and Paul Crawford. Okay, so he went to go see the races. He went to the races. And then these look like, yeah, him being going to school and coming home for the holidays. Yeah, Blair Academy. Uh holidays with his mother. Yep. Let's see. I think that's what a lot of these are. Both students of Lafayette College. Okay. So um now he's at Lafayette College. He skipped schools. But I do remember his obituary saying that he went to a different school. Because hold on, this one says okay, yeah. So from January, so by the next year, okay, this is a year later. He's at Lafayette. Uh, yeah, him still just being a student at Lafayette College. What about this one? Mr. Dr. and Mrs. Walter B. Tewksbury. Okay, so that's Marion. That's Marion Metcalf. That's Henry's aunt and uncle. Lucy and Pamela and Henry Dunn motored up to Montrose on Saturday to attend the relay races. Oh, Dr. Tewksbury was official starter. Okay, that's why they went. So this is relay races as in like track because Dr. Walter Tewksbury, he was an Olympic sprinter. He is the guy who won gold medals at the 1900 Paris Olympics games. So he was the official starter at these races as probably like a, as like a special guest kind of thing. Let's see. Okay, that's Lafayette College. What is this? Okay, here we go. Okay, so Henry Dunn has accepted a position at Pine Grove, Pennsylvania, with the Pennsylvania Power and Light Company. Okay. Where's Pine Grove? Actually, hold on. Yeah, let me pull up Google Maps real quick. Where is Pine Grove, Pennsylvania, in comparison to Secanic? Okay. So, okay, so this is Pine Grove. It's not that big of a town. 2020 census was 2,000 people. Wow, yeah, that is a small. And it's where is it compared to? Okay, so it's down here. Tacanic is all the way up here, so that's actually decently far. It's like a good portion of the state. Oh, I can go by Knoebels on the way home. I actually have been to Knoebels. It's actually a really cool amusement park. Um, it's famous because it's the largest free to enter amusement park in the country, where you don't need to pay for entry, you just pay for tickets. Anybody can just walk in and walk around as you want, and it's really cool. And they have a bunch of really awesome, like, what they do is they buy old rides that other theme parks are like getting rid of, and they like buy them and like restore them and everything. So they have a lot of like older kind of like classic rides, wooden roller coasters that feel like you're going to fly out of them. Really fun stuff. Really, really fun stuff. Definitely recommend if you're ever in the area. Uh, okay, yeah, so he's still living in Pine Grove in 1927. Henry M. Dunn and his friend Stephen Sobeck came up from Pine Grove, Pennsylvania to spend the weekend with his mother, Miss Eleanor M. Dunn. Okay. So yeah, that's in September, November. Okay, let's see. Maid weekend visit at Pine Grove. Mr. and Mrs. Henry Metcalf, Mrs. Eleanor M. Dunn, and Miss Louis Tewksbury and Cecil Ball drove down to Pine Grove, Pennsylvania, where they spent the weekend with Henry Dunn, who is employed there. Okay, wow, the whole family came down to visit. Okay, hold on. This is 1930, so a little bit later. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Henry Dunn and Stanley DeWitt have opened an office in the Herrick Block for general insurance. Mr. Dunn is son of Miss Eleanor Dunn of this place, and his partner is son of County Commissioner J.A. DeWitt of Falls. The young men are bright, active fellows, and doubtless will get a fair share of business. Office in the Herrick Block for general insurance. Let's see. Henry Dunn went to Scranton on Saturday to take examination for the insurance business. Okay, so this is I guess him getting certified for his like insurance business. This is just like a month later in 1930. So in the 1930 census where it says he's an insurance agent, he just started working. He literally just started working as an insurance agent because this is April of 1930 and he went for his test in February 20th. So he's been an insurance agent for like less than 2 months at this point. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, July 3rd, 1930, Henry Dunn expects to leave on Sunday net. I think it's supposed to be next, but they wrote net for Long Beach, California, which is interesting because that's their their marriage thing here. Their marriage record does say that this was in California, Los Angeles County. But Eleanor was not from California. According to her census records that we see here, Eleanor was from Pennsylvania. So did they go together? Maybe we'll find. Okay, wait here. July 24th, 1930. Hold on. Okay. Report has it that Henry Dunn, who went to California a week or two ago, has been married to Miss Eleanor Reinbold, a former Tacanic girl. They are expected to arrive here within a few days. So did he go to California to like marry her? So was she born in Tacanic and then she and her family like moved to California? And then he like followed them? I might have to look into Eleanor's history, like this Eleanor, not the other Eleanor. God, that's so confusing that he had to marry somebody with the same name as his mother. That makes things so much more confusing when talking about them. Okay, here we go. Maybe this will explain it a little bit. They might have eloped in California. Let's read this and see if we can find out. The expected marriage of Henry M. Dunn to Miss Eleanor Reinbold took place on Thursday afternoon, July 31st, uh, 1930, at Long Beach, California. Worth Major, who is now out there, acted as best man. All are Tacanic people, the bride being daughter of Mrs. Sarah Reinbold, and the groom a son of Miss Eleanor Dunn. He is now engaged with Stanley DeWitt in the insurance business. Mr. and Mrs. Dunn arrived here on the Black Diamond Express on Tuesday afternoon and are receiving the congratulations and best wishes of their friends. The crowd of young friends of the married couple met them at the depot and stormed them with rice and confetti when they got off. They were then rushed down around the station and up into the awaiting freight truck, decorated with ribbons and containing two chairs and a baby carriage. A car of young people with tooting horns and a bass drum led a parade through the streets while other cars trailed behind. That's really cute. That sounds like something you'd see like in It's a Wonderful Life or something like that. Um, so it doesn't really answer if they eloped or anything. It makes it sound like she was living in California for whatever reason. Because why would they get married in California if they were living in Tacanic at the time? That wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, when would they have eloped? Maybe? I don't know. Was eloping really I don't really know much about like marriage or when did was eloping really much of a thing back then? Hold on. Uh here. Uh, maybe they did elope because elopement, okay, yeah, was a thing back then. So yeah, so maybe they did elope. I think we're gonna have to look into what happened to because it says the bride being a daughter. Okay, this is interesting. It says the bride is the daughter of Miss Sarah Reinbold, and the groom is the son of Miss Eleanor Dunn. They don't mention fathers at all for either of these. So Sarah, why? Yeah, why did she? Hmm. Okay, we'll put a pin in that and see if maybe we can figure that out at a later. Figure that out at a later date. Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. Reception for newlyweds. This is about a month and a half later, right? Or about, yeah, like 3 weeks later. One of the loveliest social events of the summer was the reception held at the home of Mr. and Mrs. H.F. Metcalf on Tuesday evening, honoring Mr. and Mrs. Henry Dunn, whose marriage took place recently in Long Beach, California. In the receiving line with the bride and groom were Mr. Dunn's grandmother, Mrs. Metcalf, and his mother, Miss Eleanor Dunn. In a tastily decorated dining room, delightful refreshments were served by a number of relatives and friends of the young people. The large number of departing guests expressed many wishes for the happiness of Mr. and Mrs. Dunn. So, okay, wait, hold on. They said that this was at the reception held at the home of Mr. and Mrs. H.F. Metcalf. That's the mansion. That's the Metcalf mansion. So they got married in this house. So this is the house that they got married in. That's cool that we actually like know which house it is and that it's going to be like open to the public. That's just a crazy coincidence that I find this photo now. um okay, so yeah, so then this in September of 1930. What is this? Miss Lewis Fulmerfeld returned the forepart of the week to her duties as teacher in Philadelphia. She has rented her house on Putnam Street to Mr. and Mrs. Henry Dunn. Okay. So he so this is that's the house that they're living in on Putnam Street, which is I remember seeing it. There it is. Putnam Street. So somewhere along here, one of these houses along here. They got married in California. Maybe they had their reception there at the main. Yes, that's what that article is referring to, Kat. The they had yes, they were officially married um in California, but this is the reception for newlyweds. So this was their reception basically. They had their reception like a few weeks later um at the home of Mr. and Mrs. H.F. Metcalf, which is this mansion here. So yeah, so that's what happened. They officially got married in California, came home, and uh, then like a few weeks later, their families held a reception for them. Okay, now 1930 to 1940. or 1931 to 1940. I'm nervous there's going to be a lot here. All right, here we go. Oh, wow. Oh, that is a lot. 310, 320 matches. Ooh. Wow. What? I think what's also happening is that it's combining both Henry Dunn and Mrs. Henry Dunn. So anytime, like, I think I saw it up here. Yeah, see, like right here, Mrs. Henry Dunn. So this is what his wife was doing. Wow, Jesus, what? Something crazy happened also in 1935. Um, is it because of his business? Maybe. Hold on, I'm just gonna load like a few pages here just to see, because obviously we're not gonna have time to go. Yeah, see, Mrs. Henry M. Dunn. So yeah, so we're getting both the combination of Mr. and Mrs. entries here. I mean, hey, it shows that they were popular. They were very popular and very active socially in the community. That's what a lot of these are showing. Oh wait, hold on. What is it? Sorry, I just read part of this one and it stuck out to me. Hold on. Henry Dunn was taken to the Wilkes-Barre Hospital Friday evening with an attack of blood poisoning in his hand, which rapidly spread up his arm to the shoulder, where it was stopped. He returned home the first of the week and will undoubtedly fully recover in a short time. Jesus. Blood poisoning is what, well, blood poisoning back then it's sepsis, basically, is what we would call it today. Um, and I know that because who was it? No, it wasn't Ruth. Or no, it was this Ruth. It was Ruth Hodley. Ruth Hodley died from blood poisoning in her tooth. She had a tooth removed, and it was um and it was never fully. It got infected, and she died from sepsis, basically. But they call it blood poisoning. So he almost had blood poisoning. Okay, hold on. There was something near the top here that I also want to just check real quick. Okay, there's actually two. I want to look at this one. Local people. A laugh riot. Corporal Egan. Sensational comedy of the American Rookie. Sponsored by Rotary for the Boy Scouts. 150 local people of Tacanic. An all-star cast headed by Clyde Jewell and Burt Van Dyke. Wow, this is like almost the whole community. Tacanic High School Auditorium, Friday and Saturday, May 29th, 1930. Awkward Rookie Squad, Sailor Chorus. Special musical numbers. Oh, no. Oh, Henry, no. Oh, no. He was in a minstrel show playing a guy named Hambo. Oh, and there's a Sambo too. Oh boy. Oh, Henry. Oh man. Yeah, how yeah. Exactly. Yeah, how unproblematic. Yeah. Oh, Henry, man. Why couldn't you have just been one of the awkward rookie squad or the sailor chorus? Oh god. Yeah, 1931. I didn't even I felt like even by I feel like even by 1930 standards, because when I think of minstrel shows, I think more like 1910s. Yeah, okay, I'm not crazy for thinking that's late. Yeah, that seemed late to me. Ugh. I mean, hey, they were in a rural community. Some things go out of style slower. Oh, wow. They were controversial in this area in the 1890s. Just read a chapter about it in one of my textbooks. Wow. Yeah, so if they were oof, this is 40 years later. Ugh. Oh, and he did it with Stanley DeWitt. Stanley DeWitt is his business partner. That's his business partner. Great, they're doing it together. Oh god. Oh man, Henry. Yeah, we had to save something like this right for the end. Honestly, so far, everybody in this photo from like the research was like very like pretty unproblematic, I would say, for the most part. Nothing that crazy. But of course, we have to have it right here at the end. Jesus. Bet they only insured white people. Honestly, maybe. Because while Pennsylvania didn't have. Well, what I know, this is what I'll say about Pennsylvania, and I've seen it. What they say about Pennsylvania is that it's Pittsburgh on one end, Philadelphia on the other, and Kentucky in between. Pennsyltucky, as they call it. And this is pretty deep in Pennsyltucky. This is very, very Pennsyltucky. Like, this is the part of Pennsylvania where they have Confederate flags for some reason. Yeah. But Spork, you joined at a very interesting time. We discovered the person that we're researching was in a minstrel show and performed wearing blackface. So, yeah, crazy time to join. um, well, this put a damper on the celebration. Wow. All right. Never heard that before, but I'm sure it's true. Yeah, it is very for Kentucky, yes. Or sorry, for Pennsylvania, yeah. That's what it's like. I figured we would run into something like this eventually. Yeah, and that's what I just before you arrived in, I was just saying that like for the entire time we've researched this photo, for the most part, like everybody we researched was pretty unproblematic for the most part. Like this is pretty this is by far I think like the most egregious thing for researching this project. Not the it is not the most egregious thing I've ever researched out of everything I've like one of these streams. There was one time we researched somebody, not again, not in this photo. This was months ago. Probably no, no, sorry, this was last year. This was last year. We were researching somebody who I thought was like, whoa, this is really cool. They were a vaudeville performer, and they were specifically a vaudeville performer with their wife, and it was really cool and really interesting. Because they like traveled all over the world, like doing their vaudeville performances. And then I discovered that unfortunately he got started in vaudeville as a manager, not a performer, as a manager for a group that he founded. That was a group of women. It was a minstrel show called the Watermelon Girls. I don't think I need to go into more detail on what that yeah, it was a crazy thing to discover. Yeah, it was bad. And what sucked was that he was so like it was one of those situations where like, ah, he was so cool. Like before that. Like before we discovered that, I was like, wow, this guy's so cool. This is so interesting. And yeah, and then I think he also named like his boat. Like he got so like enough money off of his like this show that he created that he called his boat. He named his boat Watermelon Girl. So just yeah, it was oof, it was bad. But that was back in like 1900s, 1910s. Again, um um like he was sorry, where was I going with that? He was doing it in 1910. Like sorry, oh yeah, he was doing that in 1910, 1900. This is 1930. This like we were saying earlier, this is very late for a minstrel show. I feel like this is very late. Do we know anything else about Henry here yet? I fear we're about to start reading about the CEO of Race. No, so we did learn a lot of stuff. I mean, the reason why we're researching him is because, well, first of all, he's the boy above me right here. Um, and the reason why we're researching him is because he's the owner of this photo. He owned this photo and inherited it from his mother, who is Eleanor Metcalf, who's the girl whose birthday party is being celebrated in this photograph. Um, yeah. This is a crazy turn of events. This is not at all where I was expecting this to go in the slightest. Uh, I just had to click on that one. See, if I didn't click on, I just clicked on it because I thought like, oh, he's listed like it looks like oh, it's a performance, something like that. Like he's listed under something. Um, wait, hold on. Hold on. Is this a thing advertising it? Hold on. Okay, wait, hold on. Take this with a grain of salt, but according to the wiki, they continued all the way until the 1960s, where they mainly died out. Um, uh, into more very local shows and not seen anywhere else. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's kind of what we're seeing here. This is a very local thing. Rollicking comedy to be given at high school. Yeah, third paragraph down. Yeah, I saw. So I just wanted to see where this article began. But yeah, there it is. Oh boy. The Minstrel is also a big hit with Deacon Jones acting as interlocular or locutor with all the soldiers, sailors, and girls' choruses on the stage singing all the old-timey army songs with four prominent businessmen acting as endmen. Among these are attorney R.W. Trembouth, Burgess P.S. Stark, Henry Dunn, and Robert Henry. Oh, God. So they're specifically the four prominent businessmen were acting out in this. They oh god. Proceeds to benefit Tacanic Boy Scouts. Uh as an Eagle Scout, I do not endorse this. Uh bro, that's a lawyer. I'm going to yeah, no, this is yeah, an attorney and these two guys, Henry Dunn and Stanley DeWitt, they're business partners, they're insurance salesmen. They own like their own insurance company. As a former girl and thus former Girl Scout, I rebuke this. Yeah, ugh, it is, it's rough. Hold on, is this also talk about it? Uh, okay, no, this isn't about the show. Man, I almost skipped this. Oh God, wow, what a what a crazy thing to end on. Okay, what is this? A car driven by Leon Mesonis of Elmira figured in an accident here on Saturday that drew a crowd on the street, but which proved no more serious than damaging his own car and two others to some extent. He came down the hill on Tioga Street with his car out of control due to the fact that his brakes did not hold, he alleged. At the crossing, he sped by the red light, hitting the car of Henry Dunn, then swerving to the right and crashed into the car of Harry S. Picone, which was parked at the curb, driving it up on the sidewalk. Broken fenders, damaged radiators, and a bent frame on the Elmira man's own car was about the extent of the damage. Masonis settled in cash with the other men and went on his way. Oh god, at least his car. Oh good, at least his car got damaged. I mean, yeah, that's I'm a big believer in karma. I'm a big believer in karma, and I think this is part of it. Okay. All right. So that's that. I mean, like I said, we're mostly gonna like just kind of skim through these because, like I said, there's 320 entries, and this is just actually wait, hold on. When was Sally born? Sally was born 1934. Do we know what year or what time? March 1934. Okay, hold on. Let's look for that specifically. There we go. Look at that. Here we go. Stork's visit. Henry Dunn was passing out the cigars this week in his joy over the fact that Mrs. Dunn had presented him with a daughter. Congratulations, the child was born on Saturday, March 31st, 1934. Okay, so that's Sally. That's Sally being born. Okay. Let's go. I just want to double check. What was the name of his business again? DeWitt and Dunn. I want to see real quick if we can find advertisements for their insurance. Oh, look at that. Hold on, wait. Let me change it. 1930 to 1940. Oh, wow. Okay, that's you know what? This might be why there are so many entries for him during the 30s because his business put in so many advertisements. Yeah, insurance, DeWitt and Dunn. Yeah, it is a nice layout. Oh, look, it's a Christmas thing. As Christmas season spreads its warmth and good feeling among us, we wish you not only abundant good cheer, but that you may prosper as you have helped us prosper. What business did he run? So this is a insurance company. Him and his partner DeWitt, they ran and he basically spent his life. He was an insurance agent, just general insurance. Um, yeah, DeWitt and Dunn Insurance, Taconic, Pennsylvania, 3771. Okay, there was that one that we saw. Oh yeah, it was this one. Okay, so this is the one I think that they used a bunch. Oh my god. Wow. Okay, hold on. If your home should burn, then you would learn the need of good insurance. Don't wait. Do it, and it's done. Do it and done insurance. Okay, that's pretty good. I wonder if they came up with that on their own, or if like an advertising business like came up with that. Because I've been pronouncing it DeWitt this entire time. But I guess okay. Well, I guess they specifically separate it here. Do it here, huh? Oh yeah, no, it's definitely a pun. I get that. That's why I love it. Yeah, do it and yes, yeah. No, I get. It's just that I always thought that like I feel like puns work better if it's like pronounced correctly. So now it's more. I'm questioning whether or not it DeWitt is actually pronounced like this. It's probably not. It probably is DeWitt because it's DE and then capital W. The de is like lowercase. But I really do like this. I really yeah. It is an early dad joke. I wonder how long they workshopped that. I don't know, or if they like that. It could have been like some like advertising company, like maybe help, like somebody local helped them, but they probably I could imagine that because I will admit DeWitt and Dunn is a great like business name. Like these, like the alliteration and everything is like it's very I don't know. It's just very like this looks like something you'd see like in a movie for like a fake company for the movie. Ugh. Okay, so now we know I think why there's like a million. Yeah, see, look, it's all this same ad. They went with the pun. They went with the pun for so long. So many. It's the same ad over and over and over again. It's just nonstop. Do it and it's done. Do it and it's done. 2 years, 3 years. They did the same ad for 3 year over 3 years. Let's see. Do we have 4 years? We got 4 year. Oh, wait. Okay, there's a slightly different one there. Announcement. We sincerely thank our friends for their past patronage and announce our new location in the Jennings and Stark building, first floor, where we are prepared to care for all your insurance needs. You are invited to visit us. Okay, so that's just them talking about them. They moved buildings, they moved office locations, but they still kept the same ad. 4 years. uh, yeah, if it ain't bro, I mean, they seem to have been considering this is also during the Great Depression. I think that shows that they were very successful. The fact that this is in the middle of like the Great Depression, I think really shows that they were able to do a pretty good job. Okay, let's see. Do we got 5 years? We got 5 years. We got 5 years. Oh, but can we go? Can we go six? Can we go six? At least it was easy for the newspaper. They. Oh my God. We go from. We're. Hold on. Wait. Yeah, we're at six. 6 years. Oh my God. Is that all this? All of this is? If we get to 1939. That's 7. Do we got 7 years? Yep. We got 7 years. Wow. 7 years. We got 8. Do we hear 8? Do I see 8? We see 8. 8 years. 1940. 8 years of the same ad. That's crazy. Wow. He does eventually, yes, end up at a different firm. According to his obituary, yeah, the firm DeWitt and Dunn, and later with Dunn and Welch. We don't know when that happens, but eventually, yes, he does end up at another firm. And he was heartbroken he had to give up the pun. I mean, yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, you can't really. There's not really a good pun with Welch, unfortunately. Yeah, they had to truly give up the pun. You can't Welch it. Welch it doesn't mean anything. Hold on, wait. Now I'm curious. Okay, does it continue into uh 40? Oh wait, no. Sorry, wait. 41 to 50. Hold on. Oh, dang. Okay, so 1940. 1940, 40, so already seems to be like the last year, maybe? Is it Welch and done, or is it done in Welch? Hold on. Huh. Maybe they just didn't advertise. That's interesting. That just disappears. Okay, hold on. I want to see real quick. How many articles does he come up? Henry Dunn. Whoa, what? Are there just no newspaper articles for Wyoming County during this time period? Hold on. Uh, wow, there's not that much. So there's a lot of stuff with Mrs. Henry M. Dunn. Hold on, wait, what is this? Metcalf's married 65 years Saturday. Oh, okay. This is Henry and so this is Eleanor's parents. These are Eleanor's parents. Their 65th wedding anniversary. Wow. That's crazy. The Metcalfs have two daughters, Miss Marion Metcalf Tewksbury, wife of Dr. Walter B. Tewksbury, and Mrs. Thomas M. Dunn. Seven grandkids, Mrs. Stanley A. DeWitt, Henry M. Dunn, Mrs. Alexander Stanley, Mrs. John McElwin, Mrs. Pamela and Mary Harper Tewksbury, and Lieutenant Ronald Tewksbury, and four great grandchildren Thomas M. DeWitt, Pamela DeWitt, Sally Dunn. Okay, that's Sally right there. That's Sally. And John McElwain. Okay. It's Pamela, John, and Sally. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here? What is this? Mrs. Henry Dunn will hold. Okay. Meeting in the junior chapter. Okay, she's just hosting events at their home. Uh, let's see. Birthday party. Oh wait, hold on. Mrs. Henry M. Dunn and daughter Sally plan to leave early in July for Long Beach, California, where they will spend the summer with Mrs. Dunn's sister, Miss Max uh, Rubright, and brother, Mark Reinhold, and their families. Mr. Dunn plans to join them about August 1st and remain until they return home. Okay. So so that's why so he must have they must have known each other beforehand, and then the Reinbolds decided to move to California at some point, and then maybe he knew her before she moved, and it was like a love story of oh, she moved across the country, but I still love her, and so he traveled across the country and made it so that they got married. Okay, I did also see we are in ads right now. Um, okay. Since we are in ads, I'll take a little bit of a break here. I mean, there wasn't really a ton for this decade, really. Oh, wait. Get rid of the M. Oof. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot more. Yeah, they were very active in the community. If I change it to Mr. Okay, well that helps, but it still counts the misses. The automatic transcription thing still counts the misses as that part of that. Okay. I think the next thing I want to try and find is I want to see when Sally gets married. Because we know she does marry. She gets married to a uh it's weird. Oh yeah, that's I didn't realize that. Her obituary doesn't marry or doesn't mention who she married. We know she married because her last name is changed to Cornell, and she has a son and daughter, two daughters. Okay. All right, I think ads are over. Maybe it would have to be post 1950 because she's 16 in 1950. So let's go ahead. I think yes, ads are done. So, let's just do uh 1951 to 1960. Holy crap. Okay, that's a different Henry Dunn. Hold on. Is there anything for Wyoming County here? Nothing. That's crazy. Okay, let's change it specifically to M. Okay. Let's see. I want to see if we can, because most of the time they list the name of the bride like in the beginning of the entry. Okay, this is found should be paid to Jonas. Okay, that's just him being a pallbearer. Uh, let's see. Uh, let's see. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, 1955. This one here. Miss Sally Dunn, a student at Penn Hall, is visiting her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Henry M. Dunn. Okay, so by 1955, she's in school, so she's not married. Uh, oh, apparently Henry was a tax appraiser. John B. Sheehan, Mahoopany Township, succeeds Henry M. Dunn of Tacanic as the state inheritance tax appraiser. Mr. Sheehan is chairman of the Wyoming County Democratic Committee. So it could be that maybe that's why his name shows up in so many newspaper articles because he was involved in like the tax work, and so he would put like things like a lot of times they put like back then they would put like tax records or tax dues like in newspapers. So maybe that's why his name shows up so much because he was he would sign like they would always sign like their name at the end of those entries for that kind of thing. Let's see what else do we got here. Hold on, what is this? Oh, hold on. Mr. and Mrs. Lincoln Cornell, the third, is that what that is? Of Lexington, Kentucky, will arrive Monday to spend the summer at the Dunn Cottage at Lake Carey. Mr. and Mrs. Cornell are students at the University of Kentucky. Mrs. Cornell is the former Sally Dunn, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Henry M. Dunn. Okay, wait, so she did get married sometime in between. Hold on. She got married sometime in between April of 1955 and June of 1956. Did I miss it? Okay, hold on. November 1955. Mr. and Mrs. Henry M. Dunn will leave by plane Tuesday for Lexington, Kentucky, where they will spend Thanksgiving with their son-in-law and daughter. Okay, wait. So by November of 1955, they're married. Um. Okay, hold on. Let's do March to November 1955. Oh, you can't do months. You have to do. Wait, hold on. Let me change it to Henry Dunn. Or let me just change it to the year 1955. Okay, there's a lot of Henry R. Dunns. Let's focus specifically on Luzerne County because that's where it's more likely to be. Uh, let's see. Okay, May. Uh, school director, school board, school director. n- okay, hold on. Okay, by August 1955, Stanley DeWitt returned to Mrs. Stanley DeWitt returned to her home on West Harrison Street Monday afternoon from Wilkes-Barre General Hospital, where she was surgical pain. Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Henry Dunn left the latter part of this week for Louisville, Kentucky, where they will be guests of their son-in-law and daughter. Okay, so sometime between August and April. Hold on, what if we just type in Sally Dunn? Because that seems to be what she goes by. Uh, Among the students who will arrive home to spend the spring vacation are Miss Sally Dunn. Okay, yeah, so she's not. Yeah, this is what we already saw that she's not married yet. So they get married sometime between uh March and like August. Maybe there's something in Lackawanna County. Nothing. Wow. Huh. Guess their guess their marriage wasn't reported in the newspaper. Okay. Um let's I want to figure out what happened uh with their marriage. Eleanor Reinbold. This is 1930. So let's look maybe between 1920 to 1930. Let's look up specifically her mother, Sarah. Maybe not Lackawanna County. Let's just do Pennsylvania. Okay. Okay, there's a few things here. Miss Floyd Marie Reinbold, daughter of Miss Sarah Reinbold of this city, became the bride of Dr. Howard Ray Buckley of Niagara Falls, Ontario. Where is this? Allentown. Okay. So in 1927, they're still living. They're still living in Pennsylvania. Uh, what was her name again? Hold on. Oh, Eleanor, right. Uh, let's see. What is this? Okay, Miss Eleanor Reinbold of Tacanic Avenue is visiting Miss Helen Walsh of Broad Street. Okay, yeah, so but that's 1920. That's way before they get married. Oh, there is one for California here. Hold on. What is this California one? Long Beach, 1929. Okay, so they did. This is December of 1929. Clever favors add to charm a party held by Ava Tobias. Each guest found a comical gift on the vividly appointed dinner table Friday night at Hotel Lafayette, where Miss Ava Tobias presided as hostess to card club members. A small evergreen tree, dazzling with tinsel and Christmas ornaments, centered the table, while miniature Yuletide trees were favors for the groups. Scoring high at cards was Miss Gertrude Butler, while Miss Helen O'Cranie played second and Miss Agnes Pinkerton low. Other present. Okay, Eleanor. That is her. That is her. Um. Okay, hold on. What if we go back to Pennsylvania here? And what if I just search the last name? Oh, this is going to be so many. Oh, that's a lot. Is there a lot for Wyoming County? Nope, none for that county actually. Um, hold on a second. Eleanor Reinbold done. Do we have information? Aha. Okay, so this is Eleanor's grave. I figured we should probably look here. Okay, Ulysses George Liston Reinbold, Sarah L. Overfield Reinbold. So he died in 1924. Ulysses Liston George Reinbold was the son of Edward C. S. Reinbold, 1909. Oh, wow. And his wife, Celinda K. Heverly Reinbold, both of whom are interred in the Oak Hill Cemetery in Towanda. Ulysses was not found fond of his first name as he used Liston George Reinbold on his headstone. Uh, Three children, Eleanor, and then yeah, Mark Ashley Overfield Reinbold, 1910-1988, who married Frankie Bennett Hinton Reinbold. They are interned at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Hollywood Hills, California. And look, this other Rein. Okay, yeah. So the family definitely moved to California. The Reinbold family moved to California, and that's why Henry, went there to find her, basically. Uh, okay. Uh, let's go ahead. We kind of got sidetracked here a little bit. We did kind of get sidetracked. Let's go ahead and get back to researching Henry real quick. Okay, we were on 1950, right? 1951. Or no, no, yeah, we already found stuff in the 50s. So maybe let's try 60 or 61? 70? Uh, okay, let's start with the Wyoming County ones. Let's see. Because when did he pass away? 74. Okay. So he's in like his 50s and early 60s for this part. Let's see. Oh, god dang. Another 40 years ago one. These ones. Ah, these records are going to be the end of me. I hate these records so much. They trick me every time to think like, "Oh, I found something new." And nope, it was actually an article that you read like 20 minutes ago because they needed so much they needed to fill up all the space because there wasn't probably much going on in this town. So they got to resort to what was in old newspapers. Oh, wait, hold on. What is this? Local Presbyterians to canvass all members. Sunday afternoon, the Presbyterian Church in Tacanic will carry out a stewardship campaign with visitation to every home between the hours of 2 and 6 o'clock. Preparations for this have been made during the past 3 months under the direction of Stewardship Campaign Committee of the local church, with Henry M. Dunn as general chairman and James Welch, assistant chairman. Okay, so both the two insurance guys, the two insurance partners are doing it. They're working together on this. And yeah, and involved in the Presbyterian Church. Let's see. Oh, hold on. This is another thing. Wait, what? Hmm. This is not an old thing. DeWitt and Dunn in new home. This is a new article. Why did they rejoin DeWitt and Dunn in new home? The insurance firm of DeWitt and Dunn, for many years located in the Stark building on East Tioga Street, Tacanic, moved this week to a new location at the eastern end of the business district. The firm has taken up residence in handsomely redecorated quarters in the building formerly occupied by the Carousel restaurant. This portion of the Greenwood block was sold recently to Henry M. Dunn, owner of the insurance agency. I'm just double checking, make sure this isn't one of those like, okay, so did maybe DeWitt and Dunn stay together longer than we thought? We just couldn't find newspaper articles about them. Okay, wait, hold on. The Women's Association met recently in the Fellowship Hall of the Tacanic Presbyterian Church with Elder Henry M. Dunn speaking on alcohol and Christian responsibility. Miss Florence Basher and Mrs. Martin Pomeran were hostesses. Okay. So he was not just he was an elder at the church. So he was very involved in the Presbyterian church, which I've mentioned before was a very common theme with most of the people in the original photo. Let's see. When did these people find the time? I mean, this is a pre-internet TV was around, but not like everywhere. I mean, it was well, 68. By the 60s, TV was pretty standard in most cases. But this is a rural town, you know, in this is a rural town in Pennsylvania. There's not much else going on. What is this? Is this about like these firms? Wait, in Titanic, these firms are genuinely interested in the future of the community and your welfare. Hold on. If it's insurance you're interested in, the Dun and okay, now it's Dun and Welch. Dun and Welch Insurance is the place to visit. Serving the Titanic area for over 35 years, Miss Henry M. Dunn and James W. Welch became partners in September 1965. Okay, there we go. That's that's when they switched. That's when DeWitt and Dunn switched to provide you with the exact and complete coverage, offering fire, auto, and casualty insurance. Dunn and Welch provide you with the satisfaction felt when you know you are dealing with either Athena Casualty Insurety Company or Resilience Insurance Company. Their offices are located at 71 East Tioga Street. Well, now I find myself weirdly longing for rural Pennsylvania in the 1960s. Yeah, I mean, there was no other entertainment. In a small community like this, you're gonna have way more of a sense of community and like people doing stuff together, you know? Because Titanic, what's the population of Titanic now? Uh, does it say? It doesn't say here. Hold on. As of the 2020 census, the borough population was only 1,700 people. That is small. Is there a population history? Transportation, demographic. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, it's gone down. The population is currently going down. At its peak in the 1960, 2,297. And since then, it's been going down. Oh, wow. Since 1990 to 2000, it went down drastically, and it's been going down ever since. I was going to say that strictly speaking, I am also from rural Pennsylvania, but we had around 5,000 folks. Yeah, like, um, yeah, this is small. Even by rural Pennsylvania standards, I feel like this is small. And this is the county seat. Decanic is the county seat. So this is the big town for the area. So then okay, so when around the time when the photo was taken, the population of Tacanic was around 1,200, 1,250. So it was actually less than what it is now. And then 19, 2161. I really wanna know what happened between 1990 and 2000 that, like, led to this just, like, sudden drop in people. Something must have closed during that time in the 90s. 'Cause, I mean, it's kinda it started to go down in, like, after the '60s, but that's a big drop compared to everything else. Okay. Alright, what were we looking at again? Oh, right, that building. Hold on. I wanted to see, okay, 71 East Tioga Street. I wanted to see if we could find it. Hold on. Uh, 71 71 East Tioga Street. Look at that. Oh, wait. Whoa! Whoa, look! Welch Associates Insurance. Whoa. It's not, I mean, Dunn's not there anymore, but oh my whoa. Welch Associates Insurance. So not, I mean, obviously, well, I guess that kinda makes sense because Henry only had one daughter who obviously likely didn't go into insurance. If Welch had kids who maybe wanted to go into insurance, that is crazy. Hold on, wait, they have a website. Welch Associates Insurance, personal insurance, business insurance, carrier, staff testimonials. Susan Kelly, Robert Knowles, Todd Zimmerman. Nobody here has the Welchen name. Huh. Uh, okay, wait, here we go. Established in 1972 by Jim Welch Sr. and William Gilroy, the Welch Insurance Agency has been a fixture of community for over 40 years, serving the business and personal insurance needs of Wyoming County and beyond. Okay, Jim Welch Sr. Hold on, wait. Okay, that's James. James W. Welch. That has to be him because Jim and James is like, they're the same. It's the same name. Okay, wait. And then, okay, Jack and Jim Welch Jr., sons of the founder, owned and operated the agency from 1996 to 2015. In 2015, the agency was purchased by Susan Kelly, Robert Knowles, and Todd Zimmerman, members of Knowles Insurance Partners, an established Scranton-based insurance agency. Okay, so there are no more Welches working there. So they bought it, and they kept the name. Respected for its experienced and knowledgeable staff, the Welsh name has been synonymous with excellent service, customized insurance coverage, and competitive costs. While much has changed since their origin in 1972, the Welsh Insurance Agency remains dedicated to its core values of hard work, integrity, professionalism, and a concern for the well being of others. Today, its future remains bright as it perpetuates the great legacy established by its founders. Wow. That's a crazy find. Because, hold on. Okay, well, look at this. Okay, this has a thing right here. It says it was built in 1946. Is this hold on, wait, where's that? Oh my god, that is it! It's hard to tell with the photo, it's bad quality, but look at the windows. See these windows and this curve up here? Tho those round windows are still there. So the round windows are still there. This has been changed. They've added this little, like, awning thing, but yeah, that's it. That's the same building, and it's still an insurance building. That one side has that big square, it looks like a window that was covered up by the up in the present day pictures. Oh, here? Because these 2 windows are those 2 windows still there? Yeah, those 2 windows are still there. Oh, no, there it is. There's a window right here. Is that it's hard the quality of the photos not of the old photo isn't great, so it's a little hard to tell. That might be it? Or is that a door? It's hard to tell. With the quality of the photo like that, it's hard to tell. But, I mean, yeah, and these blocky, like, old style windows are kind of, kinda hard to tell. And I think it makes more sense to not have a door on this side because the front door is right here. Wow, that is what a crazy discovery. Same same building all these years later, and it's still an insurance building over 60 years later. Wow, that is crazy. Hold on, was there anything else in these other ones? Whoa, wait, what is this? Whoa, 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 what is this? Strip mine contractor sued for $3,750 in damages? Henry M. Dunn and Elizabeth M. DeWitt Tacanic yesterday started trespass action at the courthouse against John B. Corgan, a strip mining contractor of 466 Wyoming Avenue, Kingston, and Glenn Alden Corporation to recover judgment for $3,750 of damage to their property in Wilkes-Barre Township caused by strip mining. Uh, the plaintiffs, each of whom owns 1/8 share of a plot of ground along Route 390 in Wilkes-Barre Township, contended that on August 30th, 1870, their predecessor in title and others entered into an indenture of lease known as the Dana Metcalf leaves with Wilkes-Barre Coal and Iron Company, which subsequently was assigned to Lehigh and Wilkes-Barre Coal Company. The lease was later assigned to Glen Aid Alden Corporation. Wait, okay, no, wait, never mind. Sorry, I thought that was something else. Plaintiffs over premises they own overlie a portion of the coal demised to the lessees under terms of the lease dated August 30th, 1870. Plaintiffs further aver that In April 1959, the defendant, Corgan, with permission of Glen Allen Corporation, but without the knowledge or permission of the plaintiffs or other owners, and contrary to provisions of the indenture of lease dated August 30th, 1870, proceeded to trespass on the premises. Plaintiffs aver that Corgan's drag lines ripped up, destroyed, defaced, and otherwise ruined the surface of the plaintiff's land, creating an ugly blight, a dangerous and hazardous condition by leaving a hole with a depth ranging to about 100 feet. By reason of the trespasses and conduct of Corgan, plaintiffs contend their land and others has been destroyed and a nuisance has been created, endangering the life and limb and health and welfare of citizens in the area. All of the owners situated damages in the sum of $15,000, and the two plaintiffs seek damages of $3,750 as their share. The trespass complaint was filed by attorney Charles H. Miner, very ironic name for this case, and John L. McDonald. Whoa, okay, so they own land apparently from their descendants, from the Metcalf family, going all the way back to 1870. That's almost 100 years at this point. So they trespass onto this land and start doing some like mining work, it looks like, and didn't realize that there was 100-year-old agreement for the land. Was there any, do we have a conclusion? Uh, okay, no, this isn't about that. Uh, what is this? Is this an insurance thing? Find out about tax deferred variable annuities offered by Palic Retirement Plan Investing. Oh, are these like all the places you can learn about it? And he's one of them, I think. Because I can't think why else their names would just be listed here. I think that's what it is. So it looks like we don't know what happened. Oh man, I want to know what happened to that land issue. Hold on. Is there anything here about it? I want to know if they're able to win. Oh, come on. Don't do that to me, newspapers.com. What? Don't lie to me. It was just here. Uh-oh. Did I break the website? That's weird. Okay, well, hold on. Let's change this 71, 74. Okay. Okay, wait, hold on. Done honored. Kenneth J. Felon, General Agent of the Atina Life and Casualty Scranton office, has named Henry M. Dunn of the Dunn and Welch Insurance Agency in Taconic as leading agent in a recently completed 1-month business campaign. Mr. Dunn wrote $340,000 of new life insurance business during the 1-month campaign. Jesus. So he was the best agent. He sold the most insurance to people. And then this one, 1972. Hold on. Hold on. The reorganization of one of Titanic's oldest insurance agencies was announced today by James Welch. The former Dunn and Welch agency will be known as Welch Associates Inc., with Mr. Welch serving as president and William Gilroy as secretary treasurer. Mr. Welch has been a partner in the firm for many years, while Mr. Gilroy joined the company August 1st, 1972, following the retirement of Henry M. Dunn. Let's see. Mr. Welch, son of Mrs. Helen Welch and the late Wilbur Welch, has lived in Taconic most of his life. He is a graduate of Taconic High School, where he was an outstanding athlete and musician. For several years, he has led a popular dance band in the area. They they are parents of 4 children. Okay, and isn't that wait, hold on. This is 1972. Isn't that when they said yeah, established in 1972. So, okay, so officially so when Henry retired, this insurance company continued. Wow, what a crazy discovery. Okay, hold on, let's change it to Luzerne County. Okay, so the only thing that comes up for Luzerne County for Henry Dunn. Okay, well, actually, hold on. What if we change it? What if we get rid of the M? Okay, there's a lot of other Henry Dunns. Henry J. Dunn, Henry J. Dunn. Okay, there's a lot of other Henry Dunns, so I think we do have to. Well, actually, hold on. Let's focus on Wilkes-Barre. Um, okay, so actually, it is mostly just. Hold on, wait. What is this? Oh, she is employed by the Henry Dunn Insurance Agency, Towanda. Oh, that's just somebody getting married, and okay, so that's not actually about him. So yeah, the rest of these are just his obituary. So let's go ahead and let's read this real quick. I think this is the one we already read on the Find a Grave website. Uh, I think this is the same one we already. Yeah, that's the one that we already read. Is there a different one anywhere? I just want to see if any of these are different. Yeah, this is the same one. Uh, this one's in easier to read. This one's blurrier, so we'll keep the other one. I think this is still the same. Yeah, it's still the same one. And then these ones are just like little mini tiny ones. Yep, Dunn in Tyler Memorial Hospital, Taconic, April 15th. Henry M. Dunn, 67, Taconic. Okay, yes. He wasn't, I mean, 67, that's not that old. even for the time. It doesn't say what he doesn't say at all what he died from, just that he died in the hospital. So I don't know, yeah, I don't know if he was, like, sick with something or something like that. I mean, he retired 2 years earlier, so maybe he was sick enough or, like, weak enough that, like, he knew he didn't wanna work anymore? I don't know. Okay, let me really quick pull up one more thing. We're gonna look at one more place real quick. I'm gonna pull up Family Search. I just need to sign into it real quick. Okay. And done mechanic in 1907. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right. So here he is. He does have a page, and we do see. Interestingly, they don't put any children on here. Um. So we have 10 sources and one memory. Let's look at the sources real quick and just see if it's anything that we haven't already seen. Okay, we've seen the birth certificate. We've seen these census records. We've seen the draft card. What oh, this is a marriage license? Hold on. This is new. Yeah. State of California marriage license. Yeah. This is the Henry Metcalf Dunn, native of Pennsylvania, residing at Long Beach. Okay, yeah. So she was living in Long Beach at the time. Hereby the 31st day of July, 1930, at Long Beach in the county of Los Angeles, state of California, under authority of a license issued by L.E. Lambton County Clerk of said county, I, the undersigned, as a clergyman of the Protestant Episcopal Church, joined in marriage Henry Metcalf Dunn and Eleanor Reinbold in the presence of Mark A. Reinbold, residing at Long Beach. I think that's her brother, if I remember correctly. Okay, so there was something here that we didn't find already. Look at that. Oh, and okay, so the one memory thing here is just the obituary we've already seen. Yep. Okay, well that didn't add anything new. But we like I said, we did find the birth certificate. Or not birth, marriage certificate. We did find a marriage certificate. Okay. So that's something else. But I think we've pretty much done everything that we want to do right now. Because unfortunately, Henry Dunn was very involved in the local Tucana community, and there are hundreds of newspaper articles about him. that we unfortunately simply just don't have the time to go through all of them. There is way too many. Way, way, way too many. Um, but let's see. Let's see. Yeah. So what do we find? It has been a long, strange trip. Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. Um, I'm actually because ads are just about to start. I'm gonna go ahead and run a 3 minute ad block thing right now. I'm gonna get up and use the bathroom real quick, and then we're gonna talk a little bit, kind of just summarizing everything, where we're going from here, and just kind of talking, just kind of talk about all this. Because after I hit end stream, we're done here. So okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna run the ads real quick. Gonna start those now. I'll see you in a little. Those who don't or have to deal with ads, see you guys in a little bit. In the meantime, I will be right back. I'm gonna go use the bathroom real quick, and then we'll talk a little bit more about this. All right, I am back, and ads are almost done here. And I think what we'll do is, yeah, when ads are done, we'll talk a little bit about what we did today, and then just kind of talk about the overall everything we've uncovered. All right. So I think ads are done. No pun intended with that. And we are done with Henry Dunn. Because wow, we we found a found a lot of interesting things today. Okay, hey, I mean you got to get it's too easy. I mean they did it. They knew it was a pun. They did it for their insurance company. But yeah, wow. Okay, so we already knew a little bit about Henry. We knew, obviously who his mother was and father was. But yeah, he went on to be an insurance salesman for his whole life. Married another woman named Eleanor, and had only one daughter named Sarah or Sally, as she ended up going by. Um, and Sally um, did marry and did have kids, had 3 kids. Sally passed away in 2015, but she never moved to California. But what we did discover was that one of Elizabeth's kids, oh, one of Elizabeth's kids, uh, moved to California. Yeah, there was one. What we discovered was that there was basically one of Henry's nieces apparently lived in California. That's the only thing we have to go off of, unfortunately, because there's nothing like there and everything else that I would have to research for this is going to be too recent. And again, I don't want to dox people on stream, so I might have to do a little bit of research behind the scenes on that to like kind of learn a bit more information, see if we can figure out for sure what that's going to be. Hey, Josh, good to see you. Welcome on in. It's going well. You caught me kind of just at the end here. This is the last stream of me researching this photo. We have found everyone in this photo after over 3 months. After 3 months of streaming. Um and today was the last day. We found the owner of the photograph. We found out possibly a link to how it ended up in California. Um but yeah. Um Other than that, uh but we did also just discover some crazy stuff about Henry. I mean, yes, he was an insurance salesman, and uh but we did also learn wait, where is it? Hold on. Yeah, we unfortunately discovered this as well. This was the most problematic thing we could have ever discovered. Of course, it had to be on the last day with the last person that apparently he was in a minstrel show. Oh God. Great just oh God. But hey, you never know what you're gonna find when you do this research. Oh, that's right, Toki. Yeah, you're so a minstrel shows are basically an old thing that people used to do back in the day where white people used to dress up as in blackface and pretend to be African Americans, and it was mostly done as a form like just it's basically racist, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Um where he would be like people would cover themselves in like black face paint to uh yeah. So yeah, it's like I said, crazy that like we discovered something like that on the last day. On the last day of all that. Um but yeah, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit more now that we've kind of talked about Henry. Let's talk about everybody else. Ooh, wow. This is everybody's information. This entire thing is filled out now for the most part. I mean, I still got to fill in Henry's information, which I'll do after stream. But look at them. I mean, I it's going to feel weird not doing this anymore. It's going to feel really weird. And for some of you, it might be even weird to watch me not do this because you only like there are a decent number of people who are watching who probably only know me for doing this project. They don't know any of the other stuff that I've done before this. This is all they've known me as. And like that's crazy to think about. That's how long this has been going on. Yeah, it is going to become nostalgic, I think. Like I've learned so much than I ever thought I would about rural Pennsylvania, about Wyoming County, about Tacanic. Like I now know I will always now immediately like I can like, zoom in so quickly on where Tacanic is because I've done it so many times now. I know about Tacanic. I know about Mehoopany. I knew about Meshopin. I, know way more about like Pittston and Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, like all these all these places, places that I've never been. And like it's information that's going to stick with me probably for the rest of my life. But I want to take a moment real quick um to dedicate all of this time because it's been so I did the math before stream and our streams average around like 3.5 hours roughly. And we've done 27 of these streams. We're researching specifically this photo. So just on stream, I have spent 95 hours researching this photo. It's probably more than that. It's probably closer to 100. But yeah, over 95 hours dedicated to this photo on stream. And 3 months, that's a quarter of the year. I've spent a quarter of the year of 2026 working on this project. But of course, I want to dedicate all of that time, all of that effort, all of these streams and everything that we've done, all the time that you guys have decided to stay here with me and for some reason stick around and watch this. I want to dedicate this to all 24 people that are in this photo. I want to dedicate this to um I want to dedicate this to Harry Fosselman, Harry Lewis, Ruth Terry, Marion Metcalf, Amy Brown, Flora Fosselman, Eliza Furman, Ruth Hodley, Helen Lewis, Mary Baldwin, Bessie Lighton, Grace Dalrymple, Blanche Dietrich, Leslie Chase, Lillian Heckman, Sadie Weir, Jeanette Fassett, Helen Terry, Jesse Garman, Marion Lighton, Eleanor Metcalf, Pearl Dietrich, Edna Brown, Mabel Lewis, and Henry Dunn. I, I wouldn't be here doing this honestly without any of them. And they are really honestly, I feel like they're the stars of the show. They're the ones who were researching, they're the ones whose stories are being told, and in a lot of cases, probably re-remembered. Because almost half the people in this photograph never married and never had kids. And because of that, you know, they don't have any living descendants. They don't have any living descendants, and I hope I can, just by doing this, help bring their memories back, and I think now their story, because I save these VODs, I'm gonna make shorts about all these. Their stories will now hopefully be preserved a lot longer now. It is entertaining, even for me. I may not always watching by the time I stick around. It's always been interesting and inspirational too. Even well, thank you, Josh. You did good by them, Mike. I hope so. I mean, I hope I did them justice because a lot of them aren't. I mean, none of them are around anymore, obviously, but also a lot of them, like I said, don't have descendants to even judge that. you know, kept the memories alive and legacy going with these. Yeah. Hey, Lilac. Good to see you. Yes, you just at the end. We're just kind of wrapping up. We're dedicating, we found everybody. We found everybody in this photograph. All 24 people. All 24 people, and we found a possible connection for how it might have ended up in California. Also, Kat, did you put ancestry.com in that message? Because that might be why it didn't show up. Because the links don't show up. Yes, everyone. Well, okay. I say maybe not technically everyone. Sadie Weir was the only one I couldn't 100% confirm that we found. I'm like 60, 70% sure that I found her, but I'm not 100% sure. But still, 23 out of 24 people is insane, especially considering that this is from 1888. All of these people were born in the 19th century, and the photo itself, the oh wait, hold on, no. The photo itself here is 138 years old. Like that's insane that this worked out as well as it did. Ugh. And now the next step, what I'm going to do next is uh I am going to contact the people who run the Metcalf Mansion, who are, the Metcalfs are the family that is in this photograph. The birthday girl in the photo is Eleanor Metcalf. And there's a family that is currently restoring their old mansion. Um I didn't intentionally mean to link. It's okay. No, it's okay. Yeah, that's I totally understand. Um so I'm going to contact them, Josh. That's the next step. I wanted to wait until after I did all of the research so that way I kind of knew what questions I wanted to ask them. Um and kind of figure out because I do have some questions because they do know descendants of Eleanor Metcalf. They know descendants of the Metcalf family. That's how I was able to find, this photo right here of Henry Dunn because they posted it on their Facebook page. Um, yeah, so that's the next step, and we'll just kind of see where that goes. Who knows where that's going to lead? But what I definitely do want to do, though, I do want to either give them or a descendant or a local historical society the photo. I personally don't want to keep it for myself because this is as much as as parasocial as I have gotten with all of the people in this photograph. I don't want to keep it for myself because honestly, I feel like it because I do know. No, I'm not gonna stream it, Josh. I'm gonna do that all privately. Just because, I don't want it to be too much like want it to look like I'm just using them for content or anything. Uh, I kind of want to, just respect their privacy and also, maybe they don't want to, and that's totally fine as well. We'll see. Like it's very up in the air right now. Um, but yeah, wow. All right. So let's go ahead. Actually, before we kind of finish off here, there's one more thing I want to do, and that is we got to ask Lewis what he thought of this whole project. So, Lewis, uh, after over almost 100 hours of research time, 27 dedicated streams, and countless hours behind the scenes, how do you feel about this project being done?
This couldn't be made today.
Yeah, I guess with Henry, I guess that it you couldn't do this photo today because it's 180 years old, and you couldn't do what Henry was doing today either. Oh, wise. Thank you for your wise words, Lewis. So let's go ahead and let's head on back to our classroom. And one more Victorian child jump scare. But before we hold on, I did actually prepare something, and this is kind of stupid, but I just thought it'd be funny, kind of. But also kind of, I think I found the perfect song to end uh to end this research with as we kind of finish up here. So here we go. I think this is perfect. And it's not going to be in the VOD, so watching the VOD is just going to be silence. uh so yeah, again. Wow. I mean, look at that. We did it. We really did it. All 24. Again, I want to dedicate this to them. I'm going to dedicate it. Hold on, I'm going to read their names again because that's really what matters. So, thank you, Harry Fosselman, Harry Lewis, Ruth Terry, Marion Metcalf, Amy Brown, uh, Flora, Flora Fosselman, Eliza Furman, Ruth Hodley, Helen Lewis, Mary Baldwin, uh, Bessie Lighton, Grace Dalrymple, Blanche Dietrich, um, Leslie Chase, Lillian Heckman, Sadie Weir, Jeanette Fassett, Helen Terry, Jesse Garman, Marion Lighton, Eleanor Metcalf, Pearl Dietrich, Edna Brown, Mabel Lewis, and for an honorable mention to Mr. Henry Dunn. Without them, none of us would probably be here right now. And I did have the time of my life. I hope you guys had some fun here too. Uh, all right. And with that, I consider this project done, and we are going to find somebody to raid. All right. Let's see. Who is live right now? Uh, da-da-da-da. Hey, thank you for the bits, paperclip. All right, hold on. I can't stand the silence. We got to go back to. All right. Let's see. Who is live right now? You consider this project done? Yes, exactly. The pun is. uh, let's see. Who should we raid? Okay. Let's see. Well, okay, let's raid somebody who I know is interested in this project. We're gonna raid Adri Wonderland. So if you guys could stick around for the raid, that'd be great. We're gonna go ahead and raid her. She's also doing a reading and writing stream right now. And let me go ahead and get the raid message going. All right. And also, yeah, reminder, so this is the last stream until May 17th, Sunday, May 17th. I'm going to be taking a week off to kind of recover after this long project. And when we do get back on the 17th, we're going to be doing a few weeks of like non-research streams. We're going to be doing other fun stuff that I'm looking forward to. Um, so I'll see you guys in about a week and a half. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or evening and a great rest of your week. And thank you guys again so much for being here along the way. This has been an incredible journey. And in this way it's over, but in other ways I feel like it's just beginning because this has been a lot. uh but yeah, again, thank you guys so much for being here. I'll see you guys uh yeah, I'll see you guys in a week. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.